There's a question from Dominic about SOP implementation. Good morning. We are working hard on our core 8 SOPs as well as many other things in Lana. Our struggle is making the rubber meet the road and implementing the SOPs. What is the best way to help this along? We do get this question a lot, but I think, Mark, it's just a question about fostering adoption and getting a team to buy in on new processes that are built.
Yeah, I think SOPs are the key foundational component to creating a common lens or a common view on the business. How do we make sure that everybody understands what good looks like and how to get there? And SOPs are nothing more than that. It's a snapshot of the way we want things to be. So we're kind of creating almost like a roadmap of how to get to good. It's a document that allows everybody to understand what the expectations are. Now, that in itself doesn't fix anything. So the activation has to come from a few key things. Now, meetings as a key component of the LeanScaper operating system, meetings are the delivery mechanism of standard operating procedures and continuous improvement. And this is what you should be meeting about in morning meetings and in weekly meetings, is really diving into the SOPs, reviewing them with the whole group, and just making sure that you've kind of mapped everybody's mind to the way it is. And then immediately before starting a project, we're going to always review the standard operating procedures that apply. Now, if I was showing up to do a backyard paver patio, I would really want to pull out the standard operating procedure for building paver patios. And I'm just going to go through the steps and make sure that everybody's familiar with that standard operating procedure before we start. Here's the way we do it. Here's the way we're going to do it. And here's what each person is going to do to contribute. And now everybody knows what the expectation is. Now, the only way to make this really happen day after day after day is to keep referring back to the SOPs until you don't need to anymore. And so again, we're not going to go around and read SOPs every time we go and do anything. But then as we start to do that type of work, particularly in the first 60 days after an SOP comes out, we should really review that SOP to make sure that it's really become not more than standard operating procedure, but standard operating knowledge. Like, everybody actually operates this way, so we don't need to review it every time. But I think it's really important just to kind of give yourself the grace of knowing that it's not a one and done. You create it and then you implement it one day at a time by referring back to it until it becomes common knowledge. And then you'll probably refer to it once in a while. But that is generally the path forward with SOPs. One step at a time, and sometimes people wish it was a leap, but it's not. It's one step at a time.
I'm going to share a comment from Chase because it's a really great share here. If you have ever gone to a factory like Toyota or any other Lean Six Sigma business, they display common or new SOPs on a board at a central rally point, which keeps them front and center. It helps keep that SOP culture alive. I was reminded of this on a factory tour yesterday and designed a board right away last night to order, but I think it can be as simple as taping them to the wall by your health and safety board. Just a thought, because we've also struggled with this in our organization. Thank you for the share, Chase. I think everything that Mark said 100%, and then also just don't be afraid to repeat yourself. Like, you're going to be really, really tired of how often you need to bring this up. This is not a one and done exercise. So every town hall, every team huddle, this is something you're going to need to pound into their heads for months, if not years.
A big way of doing that in the modern age, because we don't get to work on the factory floor, it's great back at the shop or in your trailer to have a few posted, like your morning kickoff or your morning rollout or your fuel procedure at your fuel cages, for example. Those are all really great to have in situ, like Chase described. Those that can't be, those are fundamental that kind of don't reside in one place because of the nature of our work. I can't stress enough how valuable it is to take the SOP, turn it into a simple course, embed it in Greenius, and put that in the career pathway training for each role. This way, they're always doing training annually, or sometimes you can even reset training to quarterly, so that people are doing the training and getting familiar with the key operating procedures that can't be posted. We help you build them, create the library. It's very easy to take that, turn it into a course, and deploy it automatically from that point forward using Greenius.